Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. Solos, duos, chads and farmers, small base enjoyers, gather around. This base is cheap as chips. Highly defendable with standard wide gaps and some cool new interesting angles. This base is highly versatile with multiple mobility options. And jam-packed into a tiny little footprint are 3 bunkers, ensuring this base has a large raid cost. And as we slowly zoom in on this build, your eyes may stray over to the external. You might find yourself wondering, Spinky, why does your ship bend to the left? Well, boys, there's a very good reason for that, and I'm going to dive straight in there in the tour. Alright, we're outside this external TC, and we got to figure out why it's bending to the left. You can see it's a standard freehand bunkered TC. Our TC's over here to the left. And on the right, you could throw a battery in there or something else. Now, imagine a raider has just broken my TC. Ideally, they'd want to replace it in the exact same spot, as that would spread privilege to them all the way across here, preventing me from replacing these doors, any of the gatehouse, and the adjacent walls beside it. This would be a pain for us in an online raid and even an offline. But they can't. Even if they were to place Twig, like so, going nice and far away, they still can't place the TC. That is what we call a perfect anti-siege. And now, obviously, that's a problem for base owners. We would like to be able to put our TC back where it belongs, and we're going to be able to do that by flying up onto the roof. Over here is our anti-siege disconnectable. That's going to disconnect the bedroom from the main TC that overlaps our external. So you'll see as soon as this is popped, I'll fly right back down and I can throw my TC back where it belongs. And obviously this is only an option that the base owner can enjoy, making it really tough for raiders. And the nice thing is, unless they've seen this video, they won't even know. Online raiders could go and take that TC and discover they're still building blocked, which is pretty awkward for them. That's how you disconnect it. A little bit of an extra build out just because the compound's a little bit tight on that side, but that's how you disconnect that TC too, if you need to replace the main TC inside the base. If you like building and you're looking to improve, my Discord is a wonderful place to be. We've got multiple great builders, including me, to answer any questions that you may have, an extensive moderator team, and if it's my building style that you like and you don't want your base layout to be visible on YouTube, then you can open a ticket and look into getting your own custom base design for your own personal use. Cheers lads, let's go on with the tour. Anyway, let's get started off with our tour. We have Patricos going inside the compound and outside the compound. Because of this ramp, it doesn't really matter how bad the terrain is outside these windows, you're going to be able to utilize them pretty well. We can open up this garage door and that takes us into our beautiful compound. You can see we've got 2 turrets immediately staring at us, which is super nice, and they're up high, watching on roof and in shooting floor. Those 2 turrets are super valuable. They cover all that space, which is really impressive. And we have another turret above our gatehouse, and you can see we funnel through because we're going to assume raiders are going to take that high wall off and then push in through this funnel, where you guys can see the turrets watching, and we have Patricos looking in here too. So really not a fun time for raiders that are entering in from that way. In the middle, in front of our gatehouse, you can open up here a little bunker. That's good for some storage there, a couple of barrels in there, and it's also a nice spot for a battery too. A really good spot to throw a battery in there, because we have some very valuable turrets that we would like to keep safe. You can see that's that little area over there. Base is symmetrical by 2, with only 1 entrance into the main base, but we do have these funnel bedroom modules, and these are going to be great to play off of. You can see we've got shotgun traps in here. The turrets are still watching in this area too, so nobody can ladder over the top and get in here. From this bedroom module, we've got a quick shoot to our roof, in case we need to go straight from a respawn into a roof camping session, and it gives us nice mobility around the base too. You've got lockers tucked away, and you've got lockers inside the bedrooms, so if you'd rather store your kits in the more secure one, as opposed to that window that looks outside, you can see that the turret's even watching into the bedroom. How safe do you feel opening up that door, knowing that there's a turret staring directly at you? Very nice little bedroom module here, and we've got a few airlocks to play off of, assuming there are people inside our compound, so we can take on some fights risk-free. Around this side, this is the side that leads into our main base, and you can see it also creates a little funnel there when you open up, giving you a nice angle to push out from. You can see we're immediately blocked by a stair bunker, and it's nice that the bed doesn't get blocked there either. It's a good spot for a bed there, it gives us something to sit on. But that's our stair bunker there. This does not work on console rust, but the other 2 bunkers do, so don't worry. And that's an easy little bunker to just place, maybe seal it up on metal, even when you're online, just when you're leaving. Over here, really tight angle, it looks very situational, but as you realize, it is directly on the funnel, meaning it's not going to be that situational, and it's going to be a really nice angle to hold exactly where we expect raiders to be pushing in from in an online raid scenario. So a really nice little angle there. I'd be surprised if you lose a gunfight in that one. And of course, front door is right next to that net chute as well. So if we do need to go up and down, we've got a couple of extra mobility options, which is super helpful. We'll jump in here now, and you can see the second floor has some boxes above, and also another stair bunker. So if anybody's coming in from the top down side, maybe they've made it way into a shooting floor and they're hoping to top down from there, you can also add this before you go to bed, just to seal things up. Or in an online raid scenario, you can throw that down too, and that's going to prevent any raiders from getting active. Now, this is a small, tight solo base, so we really are utilizing the barrels here to give us the maximum storage capacity that we can get. Going to be super handy if you can have these barrels in here, giving you lots of storage options. If not with some large boxes, it's still pretty good too. We can go ahead and drop down into our main core now, and it's just a little 1x1 with our TC tucked in a triangle. You can get a bag down here so you can place your bunker and open it from the inside. And it looks quite tight, but it's actually really nice and mobile here to get through and around. And that's our tool cupboard there. Main TC upkeep is here, and of course there are two externals on the outside as well. So keep that in mind. But that's our little 2x1 core. That's our little 1x1 core, and we can go ahead and jump up now to shooting floor level. Out here is the shooting floor. We've got a little window. We've got our door that leads out to shooting floor, and I've made this a double door. You can add some deployables behind there, but that just gives you the option to airlock this if you do feel like trying to push out on shooting floor, and there's potentially someone there. Shooting floor is made up of some standard wide gaps. You can see that turret is covering us from the inside, which is going to make it hard for raiders to take our shooting floor without taking out those turrets. Got some really nice downward angles here, some good angles out to the side as well, and a lot of these are anti-raid base. Now, I got this from my friend Credbic while I was doing a little bit of base reviews live on Twitch. Look at that angle, bro. That is very rough. It's situational, but if they find themselves in the line of fire of that, that's a gunfight that they're not winning. Good crouch angles around here too, though, for the crouch sprayers, and we've got some retakes up on roof as well, and these give a lot of coverage on roof, which I really like. You can really see up there and make sure nobody's getting up to no good over there. Another look at that turret, because I just love that one. And the shooting floor is just the same around the other side with all the same peaks. Now we can jump up to our roof, couple more ankle biters here just in case we wind up needing those, and then we can exit out onto our roof. Got a couple of beds there as well for respawns up high, and you can get some boxes here too to give yourself some kits to play off of. Good visibility onto that roof though. We can make sure we're safe before we push out to do any roof camping or whatever we need to do. You can see the turrets watching on roof are super nice. Really like these, even in the middle there, super cool. That's a cool little angle as well. Raiders are not going to expect to get peeked from there. Angles out to the side on the left and right. And then down below, if we just want to focus, we can open up this double door. That's going to close off some angles that may be watching us that we don't expect. Allow us to focus down on exactly where we want to look without exposing ourselves to any other angles. Now, these triangles are spare, so if you want to throw anything inside, I think I have boxes, I have vending machines, I have a trap. You can pretty much throw down anything you like. That's our quick shoot here, and it's got a little bit of coverage there as you come up. Make sure you're safe on the way up. Some more crouch angles here, and a little bit more downward too. When that high wall's gone, you're going to see some more things. You can watch behind the turret too, which is pretty clean. You can even look back through on that breach peak too as well. Situational, but pretty sneaky. That's our downward angles again, and of course those triangles are pretty spare, so if you want to throw anything down, you can. Works out pretty nice. Up top, that's the siege disconnect. And overall, what a banging base. Hopefully you boys and girls enjoyed this one. To sound cocky, but I rather think I've outdone myself with this little solo duo base. If you guys are interested in the build cost, I'm going to go ahead and break that down now. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. Second up is that build cost in box amounts. And lastly is the total upkeep spread between 3 TCs, the main TC holding the majority of that upkeep. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to build this base. Make sure you send it to your friends so they know what you're building this way. Alright, we're in with the tour of the Saint. Starting off with a 1x1 with our TC inside of a triangle. Throw a window, a single door, a double door, whatever you think is going to come in handy for you guys. If you're playing a non-BP wipe and you're going to have that window early, go for the window. If you'd rather have that door for the early game protection, go for the door. And I'll leave it up to you guys. We do need to place all 3 triangles here for the jump up because we leave the middle one out. So we can have a bag in our core for the little solo bolo, and they can still pop their bunker. So that bag goes down there. So you'll need a little bit of flat terrain to get that down there. If not, you're going to be minus a couple boxes. Then we can seal up our jump up there, leaving it open at the top because we do continue going up from there. And we'll need some double doors on this level for later expansion. A temporary way up can be placed over here. We'll leave that in either twig or wood, as it is very temporary and that will need to go. Now, just for symmetry and fun, we can honeycomb the back of the TC here. There we go. And we can honeycomb the back of the jump up / drop down over here. Looking cool, looking nice. Base is coming along very well indeed. Exiting out, this is a loot room. Might as well get that down now. So we've got some storage space early game. So place your little loot room here. And that gets sealed in, and ideally we're throwing barrels in there if we can. And then on this side we have a jump up to our roof level with a little ankle biter there. 3rd floor is shooting floor, window on the right, single door on the left, double door around the front to give us an option to airlock out. And behind that, in that triangle, you can throw down furnaces, maybe a locker, anything like that. Seal it up at the top now. Windows going in, nice big airlock out onto the roof. With a lot of windows and a lot of doors. And I'll throw all them deployables in as well, just so you can see what's going on. Embrasures are rotated the right way around. We'll get our doors on so we're safe from the top down. And hopefully this gives you some height to play off of before we start building compound and such. Honeycomb the back of this as well. Just symmetry, prefer it that way. And we'll upgrade all of this and ignore that. Everything in stone, everything in metal's already been done. Now we'll move around here. Short build out now for the Spinky module. The fake wide gap. Fancy tech over here. That's going to create our wide gaps, plus our little funneled bedroom. Nice little module from back in the Barzini days. If you know that base, also pretty good base, go for that one. But yeah, upgrade all these squares and triangles. We're going to need all these foundations. The other ones that I broke, obviously break those. Now, this is not connected to a TC, and we do have a few steps before we can connect it. We need to raise this up. We go frame, half wall, 3 frames. And then I'm going to do a little build here. For the anti-siege, of course. Just like that. And the little cat ear connection at the top there. How cute is that? Brilliant. Nice and easy to remember. Then we need to link up all these foundations because technically they're not touching. This is a common mistake. So make sure you get down. That is the bare minimum for no decaying. And then continuing on with everything we need. Get your floors on there. Beautiful. Wrap this in. You got your 2 lockers, and then you're going to place the net in the middle for that kind of quick jump up. Wrap this round the back. That's going to be for barricades later on. We only have that foundation in frame there because I don't like the Minecraft floaty effect. I like it looking like that. And you get your Patrico there with a roof on top to keep our heads safe and to ensure turret visibility is maximized in the compound. Just like that. Perfect. Looking pretty good. All that's connected up. No decay. We've got 1 door into the base, and that's how it's built. We use this staircase here, so we have that flat side next to the single door, so we can throw a bed in there. Then we have a loot room above that we can access through looking through that single door. And if you just throw a ramp there for a bit of security, and you can get a couple boxes in there placed from the inside. Might be a bit squint, but that's fine. Honeycomb this top triangle here. Raise up frames and then half wall cap around for a turret in there. That's our beautiful turret. Try and get that down as early as possible. And we'll wrap this entire module in low walls just to make sure any dodgy barricade placement doesn't lead to an easy compound for grubs to get inside of. We can go ahead and do all that. Looking good, and we'll slap exact same thing around the back. I've left symmetry off for this portion just because that is a complicated module. but we will be introducing symmetry later on, and I'll let you know when it comes into play. But I'm going to let you guys view this 2 times because it might be rather tricky, but on the second time I'm sure it's mastered. But that's the foundation footprint that we're going for, and I'll be back with you guys once you're all caught up. Right, this is slightly different here. Obviously, we had an airlock before. This time we have a loot room. We're double half-walling that so we can get a triangle in there later on. That's going to let us throw down a shelf, and it passes through the middle of the workbench. I found that this is the most ideal spot for your workbench, and this maximizes the storage that you can have in this level. So getting that triangle in there, just throw the workbench right in the middle. Works with a tier 3, a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3, as long as you place it in the center like so. And that triangle will just pass through, which is brilliant. And then you can get all your boxes in there. Right, symmetry is on now, and we're round on the opposite side of the base. We're doing a multi-TC build out of 8 squares so that we can finish on a multi-TC square to give us that little external bunker inside the compound. So 8 squares out, cap it with a triangle, break everything in between, and return with triangle half moons. We are going to be doing that 4 times with the half moons and capping it with a square. And you'll see we've got a nice little gap there for our bunker. We do have a gatehouse coming off of this, so wrap that in triangles, 1 square out and 2 triangles off. There we go, there we go. We can half wall around the front here. And remember, we have Patricos looking inside of compound and outside of compound, so keep that in mind. We can have the floors on top here of our gatehouse, floors over there. Again, roof ramps to cover our head and to maximize the turret coverage. Wrap it in half walls around the back. The roof tiles could probably go in last to make your life easier. Accidentally placed that one there, remove that. It's just 1 turret here, it's not split down the middle. Bit of chain link on either side. Nice. There's our funnel. Looking good. You can get a turret on top of that as well. Now remember, our external bends to the left, and we know exactly why now. We're all clued in on that. So we'll build something over to the left side here, and then build our external 4 squares away. You can throw down any external you'd like here, but if you're comfortable with the freehanding, or if you'd like to try it, that's what we're going to be doing here. I prefer to leave these doors soft side for now while we freehand, and then I'll eventually rotate them once I've got that square in the position I like. We are looking for a stability of 78 or 79%. Essentially that means that the wall is connected at one side but not the other, allowing the wall to open up whilst also not decaying. That's what the freehand bunker is, so it opens from here and doesn't open from there, and that's what we're looking for. Now we swap the foundation underneath to a triangle with a simple build out, and that allows us to still have a square in front for our disconnectable. Opens up with a triangle roof now, and we can rotate those doors to create a conditional, covering any gaps you might have in your bunker, and that last gap is going to cover up here with the frame above. If you forgot how to disconnect the TC, it's at the start of the tour, but it's pretty simple stuff. Get some more low walls on the back of this gatehouse here to make sure nobody can get past our barricades. And once we've done that, we can upgrade everything, disregard it, and look into getting some high walls down. You can add this just to extend the privilege even further off of your TC there, ensuring raid bases can't come close, but the anti-siege does not rely on that triangle. Then you can place down your high walls, and it should be easy enough. You've got to find the right angle here. It's quite an annoying high wall, I won't lie, but as long as you wiggle about, it'll eventually go blue. Trust me, it definitely does go blue, no matter what skins you're using. Then I'll show a bit of deployable placement in case some of us need it. Turret needs to go right in the center of that gatehouse, and then those ones are as far back as possible. And then we get the chain link in there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Go ahead and get our bunker down now as well. Since we're doing turrets, we're going to need our battery, and I would ideally be putting it in there. So we've got one loot room and one battery per bunker, just like that. Add a wall in front. And there's a gap above that we do need to deal with. We're going to wrap in half walls beside it. We're going to cross over with the frame in front. We need to make it not stone, and then we can add a roof going through. There's two options for that roof there. It needs to go on the floor, covering up the gap, ensuring that the bunker still opens before it's too late to demolish anything. But there we go, looking nice, looking good. Wrap frames around that. And we'll probably need some frames in the middle of that too. Raise up your half wall, low wall for the shooting floor here. And that's on all sides. Symmetry is still going right now. Two-sided symmetry. You can place in the floors here for our shooting floor. That comes off of main. And then this frame will hold up a second half wall, low wall. That's what I'm doing. So that the angle duplicates up on the roof. Just give it an extra frame for stability. There we go. We can cap it off at the roof level as well. Now remember, there are a few options for these spare triangles on roof. I'm adding in that single door, so you don't forget there is an option for a vending machine there. But if you're not going to be putting a vending machine there, just add in a wall. In between these two angles, it's a half wall, low wall, so that turret can still see through the window and we get a cool peek above. Couple of frames in shooting floor with double doors. We're going to be covering up some of the gaps, ensuring shooting floor is not too open. We want to make sure that turret still sees in. However, we're going to cover up the other wide gap just to make sure you guys are not too visible, and you can open and close that door at your leisure, depending on if you want to use that angle or not. Making sure we're nice and safe in our shooting floor and no raid bases are seeing in where we don't need them to. Now we do a window in the middle, half walls on the left and right with windows on top. And then we'll need frames in the middle here, and if you stand on the ramp, you'll be able to get those to go blue. Took me a second to clock that. And you can add a floor in the middle of that. And we'll add roofs coming through the middle here. And we're looking for the conditional to connect in this particular one. But right above that, we're looking for the conditional not to connect, which means the two roofs need to be a different grade. One's metal, one's armored, one's stone, one's wood. Doesn't really matter. As long as they're not the same grade, they're going to divide down the middle and give us our roof retake. If you want to throw those down for the Credbit peak, you can do that too. Pretty nice situational angle, and it looks pretty cool. And then we'll add the floors for the rest of our roof. Over here, we add in a nice little ramp, and I recommend using a skin with a grill there for the maximum visibility from that. Add in a triangle floor frame for our ladder hatch, giving us our quick shoot up onto roof. And you can shop front in front of that so we're not too exposed on the way up from that ladder hatch. Gives us a bit of coverage away from that roof. We also have a windmill right in the middle, and I'll quickly show you guys the two bunker options as well that are a little bit confusing. That's how that one goes down, and that covers us from top down, leading in through shooting floor, and that one covers us from the front door path, if they're door banging, through doors straight down the middle. Once you've done that though, that completes the base design. Hopefully you boys and girls did enjoy this video, and if you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. This base is an absolute banger, and I grafted my balls off for this one, so hopefully you all really enjoy it. Hope to see you out there on some servers. If you need any help with this design or any of my other ones, feel free to join the Discord. It's down below in the description, and I'll see you boys in the next video. See you in a bit.